Might fly a little bit more, 18% humidity, and a packed house. As Judge leading in a number of statistical categories for New York. You see Jason Dominguez in there.
The Miami Marlins got through 5 innings, and I think for Bideau, as we saw, maybe not his best.
This year, 292, 10 homers.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say that Trent Grisham and his mustache have been on their best behavior.
New York Yankees coming off of a 2-leg homestand. Grisham flies it foul and out of play, and now it's 2-2. Here's the umpire.
Behind him and Aaron Judge, you don't want to see with guys on.
It's a player in the game by a significant margin, Aaron Judge. And he's first pitch swinging, lacing it to deep left. Soderstrom going back at the wall, and it is off the wall. Hustling into second base is Judge. He will slide in.
2 on, nobody out, second and third.
It's the DH Ben Rice now taking strike one, the former Dartmouth product.
Again, I think
long way to go for Soderstrom. He slows, loses cap, makes the catch, and Grisham won't test his arm. One away.
Talk about getting some experience and dirt under your spikes, folks. Look no further than Guccione, but a little bit of a low ball umpire. Well, definitely a low ball umpire. Not many strikes at the top of the zone to be found.
Here's another great hitter in Paul Goldschmidt swinging on the first pitch, bounce back to the pitcher Bideau, and he'll throw to first and get.
And in that instance, home, you want to drive him back to the bag. And anytime.
But it's Jason Dominguez, and he's bouncing one foul, 1-1. Well, he's in the order
to the big leagues.
Tipped into Langolier's glove, now 1-2. 1-2 to Dominguez. His although Bideau somehow posts a 0 in the top of the first inning. We're scoring. Kurtz, his first time batting ninth for Mark Kotze's club. His first pitch swinging, bouncing it back to the pitcher. Warren gets it and underhands to Goldschmidt. It's Soderstrom now ripping at the first pitch, 0-1. Tyler on a 5-game hitting streak. And again, he swings and misses, 0-2. Remember,
and that's, I think, a major cutout.
0-2, a wave and a miss on a wicked curveball. 2 are down. The house. First pitch to Rooker is away, 1 ball and no strikes. Of Cabrera throws to first, and it's a perfect peg, a 1-2-3 inning. We're scoreless through 1. As a manager, he's done everything except the one thing is Bideau. It's backhanded by Langoliers, 1-2.
Run guys out there every day. But I think.
So 1-2 to Cabrera. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Bideau. That's 2 now. Called on May the 2nd, just 7 days ago. Made his major league debut the same day. As a runner on first and 1 out. Now 2-0. This is another thing.
And I think there's some guys in the lineup that represent that.
2-1. In the air, shallow left. On the run is Soderstrom. He's still.
Yeah, you just wonder if Tyler Soderstrom is just making a decision to try to keep the baseball in front of him. But I think Tyler Soderstrom probably making a decision to not lay out and not have
throwing process for Soderstrom. We know he's going to make mistakes out there. You know, he's still trying to get his lay of the land, and by and large, he's been great
from the jump.
1-1, high in the air to center. Out goes Wilson, in comes Bleday. Who's going to get it?
Cam, brought to you by Defy. Chris, this is.
I couldn't agree more. It's Langoliers first, taking a strike from Warren, 0-1 for the year.
And he'll tell you, that's all he's got.
Home runs. That sweeper was well outside
for a while. And I think what we have seen.
2-2, and he's beaten to the spot with a fastball. He'll strike out. We're seeing JJ regularly come in at the 5th, 6th, or 7th spot now. First pitch breaking ball gets warped. I was wondering, Dallas, considering the back and forth nature of the series against Seattle.
Understood what sort of a litmus test that the Mariners represented. It's a division opponent. Big league rookies. That is the leader in the clubhouse.
It's the former Yankee Miguel Andujar taking strike one over his last 7. That does it now, doing it again with the green and gold. 1-1, grounded the other way, diving play by Goldschmidt. Look at him against fastballs. First across the board, and he's retired on 3 pitches this time.
That he threw up there that Aaron Judge almost hit through the outfield wall. Vito spinning it. And we're going to take stock of what kind of swings we get as Rice fouls one back.
A lot of people ask the question, how are the Yankees going to fill that gap?
So what are we doing there?
Rice strikes out. Now Goldschmidt. Strike 1. 0-2.
How about it?
Have it 0-2. The pitch. In the air, deep to right. 0-2. That's clubbed to deep center field. Blade breaking back. He's still going, twisting, turning, and it's over the wall and goal.
Simply put, that's what makes this group dangerous. Still hurt you.
Dominguez fouls it off of his foot.
And it's the mix of veteran prowess in this lineup, like you just saw from Goldschmidt.
It's Volpe now, who flew out to Soderstrom and left. First pitch strike, 0-1.
Well, I appreciate the fact that Vito not chased out of the strike zone after back-to-back homers. Right back in there.
And he's staying up high, inducing a swing and miss, 0-2. Well, the flags aren't blowing at all. The ball is flying, and the 1-2 pitch is a changeup in. The inning against Goldschmidt. Misses that, and then right after that, Goldschmidt hits his 4th. 2-2 windup and pitch. Got him on the outside corner. But not before the...
Lawrence Butler, count leverage, 1-0. Do we see the hands again? No. And that's always a curiosity of mine. Fire to think about getting on base via bunt. And I think we see a defender not respecting it.
2-1, pokes the bat head out, a soft liner, and laying out to make the catch is Vivas. Is coming up. And he'll bounce it to Vivas at second on a 3 or 4.
And what you don't want to have happen, which we have seen at times, is to allow the opposing pitcher, after a couple runs worth of support.
Topped it foul. 1-1.
Getting the job done. And I think for a young player to come up, do a little more than you need to. And I think all in all, he's done to worry about with Nick Kurtz.
2-0 tipped into Escara's glove. And another last inning at 7-8-9 for the Yankees. And Escara is swinging on the first pitch, bouncing it over to Kurtz. He'll take it himself. One aquarium, though.
Nay. That's reserved for God's country.
Cabrera taking 207 opponent average. 1-2 tipped into Langoliers' glove. Make that 6 strikeouts for Bideau.
And Chris, I think it's something that can but you want to go out and win. So I think if you can find that happy medium to start the ball game, which was impressive. This perspective, that is something that has really taken over. Plug into your routine.
Liner right to Andujar, played it perfectly. A 1-2-3.
I genuinely appreciate that very much so. It was nice to see your mom and brother come up. This day gets to happen, not because of how I feel, honestly. It's lighthearted, but I just, there's that unspoken understanding, I think. Incredible work with our young group.
One hopper to second. Definitely take into account every time you tell people about it, they say, I remember the perfect game. As you said, it has only been up from there. Obviously, your lovely grandmother Peggy as well, still college AAA. Soderstrom flies it foul. To kind of sit here next to you and take it all in and hear again that you've had one good day in the big leagues, because all of us know.
Please share some tears and laughs. It's all part of it.
The Athletics finally have their.
Got a lot more gray hair on my face.
Now Rooker into left.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
2 on, 1 out. Langoliers up. He struck out swinging against Warren and now takes strike one.
Because you have to get the big knocks, especially in spots like this.
1-2 to Langoliers. Takes down low. Now 2-2. As well. 2-2 is a called strike. First pitch to Bleday is a strike at the bottom of the zone.
With Langoliers, though it was elevated, a good sinking fastball. That changeup has. Same can be said for this changeup fastball combination from Warren.
0-2 and Bleday goes fishing on a changeup.
Slash tickets.
Top of the fifth. And a low pitch, 1-0 to Trent.
But I think what Trent Grisham has shown.
Runs batted in with 6. So he's been a clutch player for New York.
And I just jokingly said, I don't need to, said what's past us look like. Sneak it up on anybody. But to watch you look at.
Yeah. 2-1 and you were like, well, yeah, they have.
They did.
And you were like, yeah. And I was like, are we talking about the same?
Him coming over the middle?
I just have to call my orthopedic surgeon. 3-2 goes to right. In comes Butler, still going. Goes to a slide, and he makes a nice catch.
And you can see.
Here's Rice rifling it back up the middle for a base hit. Dominguez will move to second, or excuse me, Grisham. 52 with runners in scoring position. He has runners on first and second and is swinging on the first pitch, fouling it away. Obviously. And a broken bat. Fly ball to center. Long way to go for Bleday. Leaves his feet, he dives and traps the baseball. The relay.
Right up into his glove. And I think, Chris, there might be 1 or 2 Yankee fans in the building that are looking up at the big board and see him. He sees it down, he scores, no problem. Ben Rice heads back to first base. Trapped ball, and if it was the correct call, that Ben Rice would be at second. Now, I'd be curious to see if we get Grisham back home or back to third.
We will place the runners at first, second, and third. New York is.
What? Say what? Back to third? I made a great read. And maybe occupied the bag. Then maybe you can award Grisham in relation to the bag. The bag being second base. And this is what Boney needs clarification. I think sort of processing, understanding. So there you go. The Yankees opt to challenge, but because the play was overturned, Grisham third and home.
This meeting on the mound is brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and 3-0 game. With what could have been an out at second base, which would make it 2 outs. Never a dull moment in the game of baseball, Dallas Braden.
Well, this is why they say show.
1-1, Dominguez gets it high in the air to left. Soderstrom moves back. By the warning track, he makes the catch. Coming in to score is Grisham from Dominguez, his 14th RBI of the year. That'll bring up Volpe.
It may be better than the alternative.
Fly out and a strikeout for Volpe, and he's swinging on the first pitch, bouncing it to his counterpart at short. Wilson brought on today. Now at 0-1, it's fouled back. 0-2. Sure. He's behind at 0-2. Swings at a breaking ball, lifting it high but shallow to right. Vivas moves out, calls off Goldschmidt, makes the catch, 1 down. And now we'll hear.
I think on both sides you're watching guys attack.
That one's clubbed to center field on the run. This is that Lawrence Butler lineout is the second ball to leave the infield today for the Athletics offense. At second base, back in the third. 1-1. First, 5-5 over their last 10, though. And Urias takes a sweeper up top for a called strike. 1-2 in the air to center. Another good read by Grisham. Runs over in the alley and makes the catch. Never a dull moment in the game of baseball, Dallas Braden.
Well, this is why they say show up to the ball.
1-1. Dominguez gets it high in the air to left. Soderstrom moves back.
Maybe better than the alternative.
Fly out and a strikeout for Volpe, and he's swinging on the first pitch, bouncing it to his counterpart at short, Wilson. The A's have brought on today. Now at 0-1, it's fouled back. 0-2. 0-2. Swings at a breaking ball, lifting it high but shallow to right. Vivas moves out, calls off.
Guys, attack.
That one's clubbed to center field. On the run is Grisham. Over his shoulder, he makes a running catch. It's Urias who bounced out to Vivas at second base. Back in the third. 1-16 record is first. 5-5 over their last 10, though. And Urias takes a sweeper up top for a called strike.
At the very bottom of that division.
1-2 in the air to center. Another good read by Grisham. Runs over in the alley and makes the catch. Another 1-2-3 for Warren. Yankees lead by 3.
Well, that's going to go for a knock, Chris, and I think what you have to consider.
4-0 New York, and it just got. Nope. You thought for a second. Ricky's the winner. No surprises there.
That's kind of how it should go, you know.
In his second base with a leadoff stand-up double.
Shake them dice and roll them, Kurtzy. Atta babe. You have wondered when that's going to show up. And I can understand, especially when you arrive at the big leagues with.
Turns it back over to the top. Jacob Wilson, who grounds it to short. Volpe checks the runner, throws to first.
Still a pup.
Soderstrom up. This does a number of things, though. Hopefully the A's can bring home Kurtz.
Now booted the Athletics. And you watch Jason Dominguez, the shortstop, just trying to get guys over, take advantage of 90.
Talk about winning the 1-1 count. Well, he didn't even have to see that next pitch.
Talked him into it.
Of course, a meeting on the mound. You know, you're addressing runner on second.
Stay out of the middle. Let's make our pitches. And Will Warren promptly follows up.
Momentum. And it's been all Yankees. That's a good pitch. That's a really good pitch.
Well, that's a nasty.
2-2. Rooker takes, and he's called out on strike. Zona might have expanded there. Fourth across the stadium, getting great shots of tonight's game against the Yankees. Yeah, the score line is 4-0 New York.
You know, fairly routine by way of.
Rice on the ground, 2 on Duhan. 1 down. It's Goldschmidt now.
Really, I mean, 18 for 30.
Their form again. 1-2, but he chases there. Good pitch on a changeup to strike out Gord. Dastardly there. First pitch swinging is Jason Dominguez. Crushes that one to left center, and he has homered for a second time. Back through for a base hit on the first pitch is Volpe. Well, we know what the.
I mean, a near immaculate inning. But if you're an offense, once you start to feel.
Dara 2 for 3 as well. A single, a double, a run scored.
It sure has. You know, but I think the Yankees, for the most part, have done what for the Athletics.
3 balls and a strike now. Athletics to come up is on first and second, and Scott Emerson's going to come out and have a conversation with Harris. Swings and drives it to the left center field wall, over the left center field wall. And now both runners are going on the first pitch. Langley's thrown it.
And you know, credit to Cabrera here. You see the jump. I mean, that is, they're right.
0-2 breaking ball out in front. is Cabrera. Langoliers will throw to first, and that ends the 7th. Just out of principle. Yankees up 5-0. Hope your 7th inning stretch. 1-0, and that's driven to left, but right there is Dominguez to make the catch, trotting in. Leday has struck out twice, looking to put the ball in play for the first time. Heads up, 2-0. Very measured, but he slammed his bat down after he struck out the second time. Now at 2-1, gets underneath it. It's a high pop-up to the right side of the infield. Goldschmidt right by the line. Here's Miguel, bouncing ball, foul.
May have had a chance to clear some portion of the bag.
Ground out and a pop out. Now it's high and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, swing and miss. 1-2. 1-2, defensive swing fouled back. To be able to go out and have a good inning of work, and another pitch timer violation by Warren makes it 2-2.
Initially get the leadoff hitter on, and from there, if you can.
3-2 in the air, shallow left. Out goes Volpe. In comes Dominguez, and makes the catch. Still out there. It's Vivas first, taking a strike. 0-1. Kind of tells the story. 1-1. Make that 11 hits.
Hustled over, got to it as quick as he could, and from there put a very good throw on. The same thing there for a minute.
It's Grisham now, taking high, 1-0. That throw.
And that's probably the difference.
Ball high in the air, left center. Leday covers the ground, makes the catch. Vivas will stay put, 1 away. Someone asked in the media scrum, how is Mark Kotsay going to handle it? And a lot of reporters.
And you're going up against a behemoth like Judge. What right next to him? I don't know that I want to give that guy many opportunities at
Shane.
None.
1-2 to Rice. Harris missed a spot by a hair. Small. 2-2. Rice lines it into left field, a base hit. Tyler Soderstrom slides to cut it off. It kicks off of his body. And Vivas will. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Engine light on, we can fix that.
Couple guys dealing.
The question mark is not of stuff, it is of command. He does have a base to give now. It's 3-0 to Goldschmidt. And as we know, with runner fouled back over us. You ready? Is inside, and the bases are loaded for Jason Dominguez.
3rd homer of the night. We told you he's done it from either side. That's old news these days. But with the man.
And now 4-pitch walk to Volpe.
That's first. On base percentage of .342. Well, that's first. Slugging every one of those categories outside of runs per game, they drop all the way to second.
He's 0 for 4. And he'll lace it the other way down the left field line. Fair. It'll tuck into the.
He could very well see his first multi-hit inning.
Final 2 games of the series. Because remember, it doesn't get any easier from here. You go on the road to face LA and San Francisco, 2 of the best teams in the game overall
this season. There are expectations, and
the Yankees are about to come up for a 6th time in the 9th.
Yeah, a couple of different ball games unfolding right now. Too tall of a task.
2-2 to Kurtz. Line shot into center field. It's a 2-hit game for Kurtz, and he'll turn it over to the top of the order in Jacob Wilson. 1-1. Line drive to left. That's dropping down and will loop in for a hit. Rounding third is Schumann. He'll score, and the A's are on the board in the 8th. It's 10-1. So Wilson extends his hitting streak. 1-1 breaking ball and a beauty. Gets Soderstrom out in front.
You know, much like we
0-2 to Rooker. 2 Hopper, 2 Peraza will go over to second. Vivas is there. And Oswald hits it high in the air. Nick Kurtz will make the catch. Well, if Rice can get aboard, then it would be Oswald Peraza. 2 hits, an RBI, run scored.
Well, it was nice watching you get to catch up with Ben. You guys spent some.
I was like, yeah. As you know, Dallas just